Heads or tails? Damn, it's bulling every time. It's a bull, folks. What's up? This is Brian Kuzmar with Commercial Rare Coins and Precious Metals in lovely Lauderdale by the Sea. But no matter where you are in South Florida, it's always a lovely day. Our weather, well, it looks beautiful out there, and it really is. But if you're out there, it's 91 degrees, folks. It's like, what time is it right now? It's like 6. Anyway, take a look at the lower camera here. 5:47. Look at that, 91 degrees. Typical South Florida summertime, and a good reason to stay indoors, especially when it's stuffy like that. However, I guess we're a bit jaded down here when it gets up into those temperatures, even though the beach is looking this great. You know, us Floridians, we stay inside, turn the AC down to about 76, 78, whatever your preference is. I'm kind of a 76 kind of guy myself, and that's how we live down here, man. Well, let's get into today's report and what the prices are today. Looks like we might see some lower numbers here coming up, but who knows? We seem to be holding on to these particular levels. I like this little quote. Maybe it's not my weekend. And you know, us precious metals folks got to feel like this all the time. Maybe it's not our weekend, but it's going to be my year. Excuse me here. And that's kind of how I feel with gold and silver. I mean, but you know, I got to admit, I felt that way last year too. So, but every day is our week. You know, when you can buy silver and gold at these low prices, unless you have some kind of a disease or something that's you won't be around for a long period of time. Excuse me, keep clearing my throat there. Perhaps gold and silver is not, well, hold on, well, and everything else is, I'm not going to say that. I think that even if you were in a worst case scenario and you didn't have a long time to live, and I'm just making this shit up here, that gold and silver is still not a bad place to be, because when you take a look at all the other markets, Dow Jones, the NASDAQ, the S&P, crypto markets, bond markets, treasury, you name it across the board, they're just kind of hemorrhaging, folks, and just been going downward. Meanwhile, gold and silver, you know, a lot of people have bagged gold and silver and you know, kind of made comments like, well, you know, it didn't turn out to be quite the inflationary hedge we thought it was going to be. But you know what? Despite everything's going on, despite the fact that these markets are heavily manipulated by, you know, GATA.org believes that governments are and central banks heavily manipulate the price of gold. Myself and tens of thousands of other silver apes out there and people that are silver stackers know for a fact that CME Group allows the large commercial shorts to manipulate the silver prices. And despite all this, it's been good for the buyers out there. And silver has held its own at this 20 plus level. I believe silver is really cheap right now, but again, maybe it's not our weekend. Maybe it's not the weekend right now that we're going to see big gold and silver prices moving up, but I believe it's going to be our year for sure. And I've said for the last 2 years, never underestimate the people that have the printing press. You know, I've been thinking since. I mean, I got to be quite frank with you. I don't know how they pulled it off after 2008, after the financial collapse. However, they just kept pumping more money. It's incomprehensible to me. Maybe I don't understand economics as much as I should, but I felt like 2008 was the decline of the empire. We were pretty much done, that we had to get some fiscally conservative people into offices to you know, again, fiscally conservative to wind down the spending, but that didn't even happen. They kept spending more. They kept adding more to the printing press. And again, maybe I think I just underestimated for all these years since 2008 how much free money and how much, you know, the person with the printing press can actually keep things afloat. And that's exactly what they've done. But the ship is going to sink fast when it finally does. I think we've seen an accelerated version of inflation, an accelerated version of the decline of the buying power of the fiat dollar in the last 4 years, the last 2 years. Actually, it's been quite some time, but the last couple years under this new administration, it's declined even worse because they're even worse when it comes to spending. They're even worse to understanding economic situations, and they're not going to wind shit in. They're just going to double down on their stupid. But no less, let's take a look at spot prices. Speaking of stupid low spot prices. There's no reason for these prices to be this low. I even believe in the gold markets unless there was some kind of shadow banning by the central banks on gold, and shadow banning by CME on silver, allowing the big commercial banks to keep these prices low. But gosh, I get so sick and tired about this manipulation. But the beauty of the manipulation, again, it provides you an opportunity to buy the real metal, not their paper derivatives and their bullshit, at really cheap prices. Premiums are cheap right now too, especially on silver, and very reasonable on gold as well. 1807. Let me see, it opens in 8 minutes. Let me see, the last time I updated this, let's just see if we're open yet. No, 8 minutes. Well, it looks like New York closed around 808, and the range on gold today was a low of 1803. Pretty close to that 1800 mark. I suspect they're going to try to bang it to the high 17s. I don't know how successful they'll be getting it much lower than that. And the summertime's not over. We typically have summertime doldrums when it comes to precious metals, and it doesn't typically heat up until, well, again, there is no typical anymore, so I shouldn't even say that. So currently, look at this range today, 1803, a high of 1824, but the markets were monkey hammering over in the evening nights, lower throughout the day in the criminal crime X markets, and here we sit right now at 1807.87. Will it take a stab at sub 1800? Looking at what I'm seeing that there's no abatement to these constant knockdowns in the crime X markets, that these guys are in desperation mode. Either a couple things are happening. They understand that gold and silver is going to shoot up right through the roof when the shit hits the fan, and it's already hitting the fan, but when the general public figures it's hitting the fan, I think that these short positions know that they got to get out of these fucking short positions, otherwise they're screwed. Well, so 1808, maybe they will try to bang it even lower. That's a very good possibility. Maybe we'll see sub $20 silver. I'm not sure on the close, but maybe intraday trading, perhaps even on the close. I've said it for 2 years, never underestimate the crookedness of the crime X markets, and never underestimate the people, which is the Fed and the government, that own the printing presses. Platinum, sub 900, great freaking buy in my opinion. I just love platinum. And again, as I've always said, eventually at some point where gold goes, platinum's going to follow, silver's going to silver's going to follow. I'm kind of curious here what the, I never look at this, but the gold to platinum ratio. Let's take a look at this and see if Siri works the first time. 1,807.87 divided by 882.6.
The answer is approximately 2.0483.
All right, well, that's pretty simple to figure. Okay, so 2 to 1 is what the ratio to platinum to gold right now. I'm going to start tracking that a little bit more. And I suspect the gold to silver ratio is still way out of whack. I've said repeatedly that either silver's too cheap or gold's too expensive and it's going to come down in price. Both have happened, but I still think that gold to silver ratio is still in that. Let's just take a look here. 1,807.87 divided by 20.3.
It's approximately 89.0576.
Wow. Even more significant than I thought. 89 to 1, folks. We're starting to see that gold to silver ratio spread quite wide. And I think before you see silver doing any kind of takeoff, gold's going to go ahead of the game. Gold's going to fly up. I think we may go back to see that 90 to 1 and 100 to 1 ratio with gold to silver. And that's when I think we'll see silver starting to play catch up, getting that $25, $30 range. And again, Ted Butler has said it for many years, and I believe it's very much true. At some point, these collusive short positions that have done this for decades and decades and decades, because of the position they're in, like I said, they're still in a losing position with their overall short positions here. But they're in the least losing position they've been since, I don't know, a long time. Once they exit these major short positions and they get out with a minimal loss, or maybe even making money, even if they make money, big freaking deal. Once they're out of these large manipulative short positions, all bets are off for the price of silver. And I'd say, again, gold is kind of independent on its own. You know, the price point in the spot prices for gold aren't necessarily set in the crime X markets. Remember, you know, the gold is a global market. But again, like gata.org talks about, and if you're not, you know, if you're new to my sites, you need to have gata.org on your bookmark, because they have good articles, and they explain how gold is manipulated by central banks. I believe it to be true as well. Let's take a look at the charts. Not much to look at here, folks. Move along. Let's move along. Look at this action right here with the 24-hour spot prices in the evening. 1815 down to, look at this seesaw action right here, but overall still, you can see the war going on here and that they're trying to drive the gold prices down lower, maybe in that sub $1,800 level, but I don't think it's going to stay there long. And if it does, it's just even a better buying opportunity on the buy the dip, the buy the dip mentality when it comes to precious metals, which I think is smart since we're still in a bull market and we haven't even begun to see this market go crazy yet. Let's take a look at the silver prices too, where I think you're going to see a similar action, maybe less less erratic here, but still up. Silver up above that $20 mark. Look at this in the low 20s, up above that 2050 mark, then back down again in this sideways, drifting lower. Like I said, I believe this is just pure manipulative, collusive behavior by these big shorts trying to knock out the longs, once again to get themselves in a better, less losing position before they close out these losing shorts, which I don't think they're going to keep reopening once they've gotten themselves in a good position. That's just my opinion. Best deals out there, folks, still are 1 ounce gold bars. However, you know, Maple Leafs and Eagles are not too horribly priced. I think right now, as you know, I advertise to be at MexJM and SD Bullion on their reasonably priced gold and silver products, as should your local dealer. So if you live in South Florida, I'm the guy to see. If you don't live in South Florida, please find yourself a good local dealer. But bars are the best deal out there. I believe they're going to be in the, depending on the quantity you're buying, but in small quantities, $80, $78 or something like that. Spot plus 78 or $80. Forget off the top of my head, is what we're getting for them in small quantities. And again, we can beat the big guys on their prices on that stuff. As far as silver goes, premiums are still pretty high on Eagles, Maple Leafs, and 90% silver, but the best deals are 1 ounce bars, 10 ounce bars, 100 ounce bars in generic form. They've come down a little bit, so silver getting, the premiums are much more reasonable than they've been in, gosh, at least a year or two, maybe 3 years, I don't know, but for quite some time, the silver premiums have come down a little bit, and silver prices are down. Great time to buy, and not because silver's not worth it, and not because no one wants gold or silver, just because it's summertime. The prices have been depressed for a little while. All the people that have, all the gold and silver bugs that have been involved with this a long time, most of you guys are bought in. Most of us are bought in. We're already in there. So we're seeing the dribs and drabs of the buyers, of the new people that are coming in and starting to understand gold and silver as well. Boy, what an opportunity they have, especially versus people that have stepped in at the $25 and $30 range. And by the way, for you folks that are in silver as high as $25 and $30 and even higher, relax, relax. Don't panic about this. We'll be back at those levels and far above them, in my humble opinion, at some point. You know, knowing exactly when is the magic question. And if I had a crystal ball that told me when, I would just make a huge trade, make billions of dollars, and then once in a while do videos from my island somewhere in the Pacific. I'd still do my videos, I know, but that's my opinion, folks. As far as articles, man, what a wonderful article. And I'm going to read the end of this because I want you guys to read the first part of it, which is just as good as the end here. I'm not giving away the plot of this movie. It's anyway, I'll get there. It's on ZH, but check out this ending. And gold, just to follow up with that. Of course, the Fed, the IMF, and the Davis crowd, the MSN, and the chest-puffing sanction, backfiring parentheses, or quotation parentheses, I'm sorry. West will blame the current and future global market disasters on a critter with a 99% rate of this right here, and an avoidable war in the corner of Europe that neither this person, this puppet, sock puppet, or this evil witch could find on a map. That's just my opinion, of course, in my opinion of these people. Instead, and as most already know, the real cause of the great market bubble and bust in the history of the modern capital markets lies in the reflection of central bankers and politicians who bought time, bought votes, bought market bubbles, wealth disparity, and cancerous inflation with the mouse click. Printing money, folks. Printing money out of thin air. Great article. I'm going to tell you where you find this and who wrote it. And again, it's a brother from another mother, because this guy writes like I think, and I'm a terrible writer. For now, the Feds will tighten and thereby unleash an even angrier bear. Absolutely true. Then, as we've warned, the Fed will pivot to more rate cuts and even more printed inflationary currencies. The U.S., EU, and Japan engage in more inflationary YCC, and inevitable inevitable as well as disorderly reset already well telegraphed by the IMF, the International Monetary Fund. Again, the great reset that everyone's been talking about. In either scenario, gold gets the last laugh. Folks, remember that. I'm going to say that twice. Gold gets the last laugh. Gold, of course, has held its own even as rates in the U.S. dollar have risen. Typically classic gold headwinds. When markets tank and the Fed pivots, yields on the 10-year go as global growth weakens, thus providing gold a great tailwind. I said great myself. Furthermore, the U.S. dollars day of relative strength are equally numbered, as is the current high demand for U.S. T-bill backed collateral for U.S. dollars. Oh man, treasuries are going to be in big trouble. Who's going to buy treasuries now? The central banks have been buying for a long time. They're going to, anyways, that's a whole different story. As the slow trend toward de-dollarization increases, so will tailwind and the price of gold increase. I yawned in the middle of that, sorry about that. So will the tailwind and hence price of gold increase as the U.S. dollar's credibility decreases. Folks, when all of us are wondering, you watch my videos, you're a gold person, silver person, you know, and if you've been doing it for a while, you understand the U.S. dollar, you understand the credibility of the U.S. dollar. But you have to remember, we are a small group of people out there. We're a small percentage of people. A vast majority of people have no clue what the U.S. dollar is. And when they start to catch wind, and they are, and they have been, especially the younger people, that the dollar is losing value, the dollar is losing buying power because of stupidity of spending, endless printing, not because some greedy merchant at Target raised the prices on sneakers, you know what I mean? They're going to realize that it's the decline of the dollar. And I'm telling you, younger people are getting smarter. They're starting to realize this. There's more and more people like us. We're growing ranks of people that understand, but boy, that's a whole different subject as well. And I don't mean to digress from this gentleman's article. In the interim, the fact that gold has stayed strong, I've said this constantly here recently, even though gold hasn't made that 45-degree angle upward, which I'm glad it hasn't, that some of the rich people have expected or bitch about. In the interim, gold has stayed strong despite the temporary spike in the U.S. dollar speaks volumes. And I say the same thing considering everything else is taking a giant shit, folks, including real estate starting to take a giant shit. In the interim, gold outperforms tanking stocks by a medium range of 45%, and when the inflationary pivot to more QE turns, gold protects longer-term investors from grotesquely and increasingly debased currencies. And when, not if, the reset towards CBDC, central bank digital currency, finally arrives, that blockchain, e-yen, and e-dollar will need a linkage to a neutral commodity, not to empty faith and trust in just another. So interesting that I didn't read this last part. I missed it because of the graph there. But he's suggesting that after a reset that they might back it by gold. I don't know. I think people that are addicted to fiat are just addicted to fiat and they're never going to get off it. I can't see them backing it by gold. But boy, I didn't mean to make you dizzy there. Great article. It's in Zero Hedge. It's called The 2022 Market Disaster. Type that in, Zero Hedge. More pain to come. By my brother from another mother. Like I said, a guy that I think just like he does, or vice versa. I'm not sure if he's older than me or not. That would be the order it would go in. But no less, Matthew Peipenberg at viagoldswitzerland.com. If I lived in Matthew's neighborhood, I would buy gold from that guy all the time. However, I'm not sure if he's a local dealer or if he's just an online dealer. But no less, boy, if I had no choices, I might look at his stuff too as well. I shouldn't say no choices. Good article, great article by Matthew. And again, you can read it here. Not homework, but suggested, highly suggested, read it by me. Again, ZH 2022 Market Disaster, more pain to come. Read, again, I read the end of it, but the end of it really just had some points I wanted to make. The rest of the article is really good, so I suggest you read the rest of it. As far as what's going on out there in the world, Sock Puppet here, Sock Puppet, that's my new name for him. Wow, got a massive blow there, and I can't do anything but feel really bad for those people, but no less. Let me move along here. That's the article I was just talking about by Matthew Peipenberg. Pretty cool article. Who's still buying fossil fuels? Interestingly enough, take a look at this. The same people that are involved with NATO, are huge buyers of fuel. So I have a feeling we're going to see a lot of waffling on this get by here. This is kind of interesting if you really know the true story about Ukraine, but you wouldn't know the true story if you watched any corporate news or read any corporate articles out there, because the corporate news just lies through their freaking teeth when it comes to this particular country and this particular war. But no less, not going to go there. Just a little tired of talking about that, and it's just such a shame anyway. Whoa. There you go. There you go. There's a sock puppet right there. And what a wonderful job he's done. Really, worse than 60 years. God, these people right here, you can just tell who they are. They just, all right. We do have elections coming up, so let's see what happens. Hey, GAT.org, not going to read the articles, but some really good stuff here. I always recommend you read their stuff, as well as Ted Butler. Although Ted Butler has Butler Research, subscription-only service. If you want to know about the manipulation of silver, definitely type in Ted Butler and type in the word silver manipulation. He's got all kinds of great articles you can read there. I think you can also find some of his articles for free, his more recent stuff on silver seekers. Not quite sure who silver seekers are, but for many years I've read free stuff from Ted Butler on their site, so I got to give him some cred there. And hey, last night's video, really short, not much to say like tonight, and I'd like to thank everybody for watching. I'm going to answer a few questions here. Close your eyes if you get motion sickness. And let's see, man, lots of comments on the, again, not a lot of views on last night's video. You are right, Mark Hall. It is a shit show. That's for damn sure. Hang on one second here. Let me just blow that up a little bit so I can see better. Lewis, you also like your wine and beer? Well, tonight's video is brought to you by an Argentina Mal. Oh, is it a Malbec? Hang on a second. I forget if it's Malbec. Malbec. I normally don't drink those, but it's not too bad at all. And again, it's an evening show, so remember, folks, this is not the morning show I typically used to do. With my coffee, I'm having an evening show, so that's why I'm drinking wine. And I'm about half a glass right now. It's pretty damn good. Not too bad. Argentina, don't cry for me. All right, you can tell I'm feeling it. Michael says, I read your guidelines. I disagree. I really like spam. I know it has a lot of salt. Yeah, you smart aleck, you. You know that I bought spam I can't really eat it too much, but I bought it for like part of my emergency quick to eat food, because I think spam is good to for 90 years in a can or something. It's part of my emergency food. I don't even know. I probably would eat. I'd probably die before I ate it, but no, that's not true. Spam's not that awful. Thanks for watching, Michael. David says, if not for Scotch or bourbon, I couldn't handle the shit show. I hear you, brother, but, it is what it is. Hey, thanks for watching. Hayes, the Scorch says, thumbs up for 2 views only. Yeah, I was saying last night, I think that the shadow banning does take place, and that I was going to say some shit last night that even if it only got me 2 viewers because I was shadow banned, I was fine with that, and I'm still fine with that. Screw these people, When has anybody that's ever promoted or done censorship been in the right or been a good guy? Never in history. So, anyway, screw these people. Oh man, there's a little porn there. You know what we do with these porn and these guys right here. They're not wanted here. Let's just do a report. Oh, no. Report, for some reason, doesn't delete them on this particular machine. So I'm going to just do a remove, get rid of them. Tom says, what is your guesstimate of silver to gold ratio for us peasants to be holding on to? Oh, Tom, really, the preference between gold and silver is mostly just your preference. I can't tell you how much to buy of each. There's a lot of silver people believe that, gold has hit its all-time high, 3 times already? Silver only twice. Maybe gold even 4th time. I don't remember. It's been above that 2,000 mark a couple times here. But silver hasn't even gotten close to its all-time high, but twice already. Back in the 80s and then 2012, since then, or 11. It hasn't done it since. So a lot of people believe that silver has greater upside. I tend to believe that, but that's my personal opinion, Tom. Take it for what it is. It's not advice. But, you're a smart dude. And again, with lots of research, I think, you'll know what to buy. But I don't think you're going to go wrong by either metal, if you want my opinion. And mixing it up can't hurt you either. Thanks for watching, Tom. Another removal here. Albert says, I agree, complete shit show. How can gold move 0.4 without being blatantly manipulated monkey? And that's true. But again, provides us a great opportunity to buy at lower prices here. And, oh man, you sound like me. I get a little bit, Albert, we're going to do fine. Great opportunity to stack at lower prices. And hey, folks, if you want, comment on Albert's. This is from yesterday's video, so go on yesterday's video and reply to Albert right here. Let him know what you think as well. I'm sure you feel the same way he does. Bite Me says, yay, my post-work to details. Martini. I like the martinis, but man, after about 2 martinis, I'm toast. I'm toast. So, hey, thanks for watching. Bite Me. Have a great day. Wallace says, love the video. Thank you. I love you commenters too, and thank you all you viewers. You're just as much appreciated. And by the way, I'm going to do a toast with this Malbec. Toast to all you folks. Hold on one second. There you go. Strong man, definitely a shit show. Write a book. Dude, we should all write books. If we all wrote books, I'm sure there's some great stories in every one of them. Hey, thanks for watching, Strongman. I appreciate it. Linda says, red wine. I am a red wine drinker myself. I don't like red wine. I mean, white wines, Linda. I just never have been able to drink them. But red wine's my thing as well. Mostly Cabs, Merlots, and again, I mess around with the other ones as well. Malbecs and such and such blends and things. Thanks for watching, Linda. Hope everything's good with you. Gilbert says, I'm done sitting for the award advance since I require 30 times every 12 days of my invest. Oh, Jesus. Gilbert's a scammer. Oh, no. God, I can't believe I didn't catch him anyway. Let's remove him and his 26 replies to himself. And these are just guys replying to himself. Look, Mariam Aruba. Yeah, same as over 2000. Gosh, do these people really think that they're fooling anyone with their bullshit comment scams? Oh, man, and they still continue. I guess someone falls for that shit. They were new. Ooh, not sure if they knew. I don't know if they did, man. I kind of doubt that. You were right. Politicians are bullshit artists. Well, today's politicians are. There are no more statesmen. There are no more peacemakers and statesmen. They just don't exist anymore. Very few of them. I mean, I got to tell you, there's 2 people I like in Congress and Senate. I like a blue person. I like a red person. I like Tulsi Gabbard because of her foreign policy. I like her on military issues, foreign policy, and privacy issues, as well as Rand Paul, who I like on foreign policy and issues like that. Because again, they don't want to get us into wars, and wars cost us a ton of money. They also want to give us our privacy, and I respect that from both of them. Now, the rest of their stances is really up to you, whether you like or not, but I got a lot of respect for any politician that wants to reduce wars, reduce the amount of money we spend on the military, reduce the amount of blood that we leave in other countries of our kids, and increase our privacy and our rights on top of it. So thank you, John. I appreciate you commenting. Carl says, crazy train, exactly. Keep stacking, brother. Clemson, it's not quite even about the crime mix. Yeah, it is. It really is. Once you've seen it for so long, it's pretty much, in your face at this point as you look at it. But again, remember, we're a small percentage of people. A lot of people have no clue what's going on in the precious metals markets, and you got to be careful. If you tell them it's manipulated, they may never get into it. But they don't realize that everything they do in their life is manipulated. Silver Liner, nice to see you commenting. Yeah, me too. Rather watch fish. JVF Mastering, if you ever get down this area, make sure you look me up. Keep stacking, Silver Loving Lou, and Scotch Neat. Used to be a big Scotch drinker, and then I went into bourbons, and then I went into rums, and oddly enough, I just started getting heartburn from all those type of liquors, some brown liquors. Love the shit out of them, but for some reason, I just started getting heartburn from them. Now I'm sharing my medical issues with you guys. Thanks, Michael. Appreciate it. Buying bars, yeah. Just brought another 30. Hey, good for you, Paul. Just make sure you're buying low premium stuff at the cheapest premium that you can, and keep stacking. That's within a comfort, and be diversified as well. I always tell people, listen, if you're putting all your money in gold and silver, don't do that. Don't do that. Do a certain percentage of it. Hey, thanks for watching, Paul. Gary Wright, thank you. I know that's a compliment. And yeah, shit show for sure. West Virginia, is that West Virginia? I loved West Virginia. Used to do a show there, a big collectible show. It was actually Hillsville, Virginia. They used to open up the whole town. The whole town used to turn into a giant flea market and festival back in the 70s and 80s. Went there with my father one time, I think in the 70s and 80s. Had a great time, Hillsville, Virginia. Gary, what's up? Thanks for watching. One-arm paper hanger. Yeah, you look like a young man. So yeah, paper hangers. Those are the guys who used to hang wallpaper. And I guess you laughed, so you got it. But not many young people would get what that meant. What a one-arm, busy as a one-arm paper hanger. Thanks for watching. Brent Tree Climber, what's up? Looks like they are dipping lower. And Bix waxed me up. Bix waxed me up. Bix backs me up. That's cool. Bill says, ha, he, ha. Really don't think you're paying attention. I've been for the last 6 years. I have a feeling a lot of people are not going to be eating crow someday. I think Bill is referring to, because it took me a while to figure that out. Hey, Bill, I disagree with you, but I remember I didn't vote for the T-man. I didn't vote for the B-man. I didn't vote for the puppet nor the orange guy. So I'm not a supporter of either. I put myself in a good position of being somewhat unbiased when it comes to the two. Although I really like one better than the other, I still probably wouldn't vote for either one. Again, that's just a libertarian to me, and I don't vote lesser evils, never have. I vote for people that I think are good for government. But no less, I do think that T-Man is less harmful than the sock puppet we got right now. And on top of that, I genuinely believe that where there's smoke, there's fire, and in that last particular election, there was a lot of smoke, brother. So anyways, have yourself a great day, guys. Appreciate you watching. And as I always say, think for yourself, question authority, and most importantly, question what you think you know. Because your narrative, your opinions may not necessarily be your own. It may be something that you were raised with. It may be from your schools, your teachers, the media, the narrative. It may not be your own. So always question yourself first. Is what your opinion is and your narrative, is it true? And there's ways to learn, folks, and you should go out there and look. Then you become much better at thinking for yourself and questioning authority. Thanks for watching. Have yourself a great day. If you live in South Florida, I'm the man to see when it comes to rare coins, precious metals, estate jewelry, and all kinds of other cool stuff as well, silverware, flatware, and all this. But I'll get into that some other time. Call us anytime at 954-493-8811 between the hours of 10 and 4. Mondays through Fridays, we're open and ready to do business. If you don't live in South Florida, I can't stress enough how important it is for you to find a good local dealer. Very important, folks. Hey, thanks again for watching, and let's see what happens tomorrow, Friday. Good night now.